Here we go with our pumpkin tutorial. So we are going to be making this cute little pumpkin pal with the smiley face. But if you want to do one that's a bit more sophisticated, you can use something like this lovely luxurious velvet fabric, and you don't even need to do a face on it. I'm going to put a bow on that one too. I'm going to be using the velvet today. So you take your circle of fabric, and I drew around a dinner plate for this size, and what we need to do is some gathering stitches around the outside. So take a knotted threaded needle and do a running stitch like this all the way around. I've used an embroidery floss. Needle came undone. You can use sewing machine thread too, you know, just like a regular spool of thread, but you might want to double it just to make it stronger, because we're going to be gathering this at the end like this to make like a little, to make the shape of the pumpkin. So about 1/4 of an inch from the edge, and as I'm doing it, it's sort of gathering up on me, and that's fine because that's what we want to achieve. You can do these any size you want to. As you can see, the dinner plate makes this size. So if you wanted to do a really big one, you could do that. The only thing you might find tricky is the one of the next steps where we wrap the floss around the edge of the pumpkin. So you'll see when we get to it what I mean. So just keep going. You could use other fabrics for this. Felt is probably not the best, it's quite stiff, but you could even use like a sweatshirt fabric, or, you know, you could experiment really. You could make them in different colours. You see a lot of them in the stores that are fall colours, burgundies, orange, olivey green, sort of all those lovely fall colours. And you could do a basket of them or decorate your fireplace and keep them for years and years. So I'm chatting away while I'm getting my running stitches done. Keep going. This technique, so it's the running stitch is a straight stitch, but where you do it like this, so you do a bunch of them at the same time or all in one go, and it just makes it faster. You can actually do this on a sewing machine too if you change your stitch to the longest stitch, but I like doing it by hand. Okay, we got back around to the beginning, and you can see how it's already made like this little pumpkin-y sort of shape. It's a bit loose, so if you pull in your gather stitches, that's what these are called, like that. Not all the way, because we want to be able to stuff it. So once you've got like just a nice little opening like that, take a handful of stuffing, and you don't need too much. You can get the stuffing at Michael's or Joann's fabric, or you can get it on the wonderful Amazon. And I think the pumpkins really, they're not Halloween, they're fall or Thanksgiving kind of decorations. So this is where you can see, do we need any more stuffing? I don't think so for this. Really a little goes a long way. So pull it in. Tight. And this hole that I'm going to be left with is fine because that's where I'm going to insert the little stalk. You can kind of shape your, maybe I'll put a little bit more stuffing in there. Okay, so pull that in tight again, and then we need to secure this. And I'm actually going to just do a couple more stitches there to gather in that last bit. See, so when I pull it, and then if I do, I'm going to hold it tight and do a couple of stitches just to hold it in place. So if you go 1, 2, 3, that will hold that quite securely. So, you know, you can keep playing around with it until it's the shape that you want. Or it can be an odd pumpkin like those ones that you get in like Trader Joe's and stuff that are all uneven. So I kind of like that as it is. So next thing to do is I'm just going to do an extra knot here. You can either just keep doing little stitches on top of each other, or you see where this loop is? If you take your needle through there and lock it, that is the lock stitch. So needles come unthreaded, but again, just take it through there and that should be nice and secure. Cut it. So before we put our the stalk in, we can do these the lines that come around the pumpkin. So I've actually started off with a nice long piece of embroidery floss that's knotted, and I'm going to take my needle down through the middle of this, and this is a bigger needle, but you can use the regular needle. You just have to squish this together and come down like in the middle. And then come around the pumpkin, go back down, and you want to come out the same place, or close by there. So pull it a little bit, but not too tight. I think I'm going to go around the opposite side. I don't think there has to be a set amount of these. Just kind of work away as you want to. I'm not sure if they all do have the same amount or not. Oops. But that's why I cut the floss longer, because you can see it doesn't go very far. Go down. And you can move these around, so you can space them out as you go along. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, maybe move that around a little bit. Maybe I'll do 6. So I'm going to do that one here. I think mine's just about going to make it. If not, you can just do a finishing stitch and then start with a new piece. So I'm going to pull that in here and do another lock stitch. And don't worry about this top bit, it's quite forgiving, because by the time you put the stalk in and a ribbon, you can cover up any bits that you're not so keen on. So again, go through the loop to secure it. you could play around with that forever, but I think I'm happy. I'm going to push those little bits in there. See how that isn't that neat up here, but it doesn't matter because of the stalk and the bow. Okay, so I'm going to leave that for a second and take this piece of fabric, which is about 3 inches by maybe 4.5. I'm going to fold it in half and sew around. Again, you could do this on the sewing machine, it'd be a lot quicker. Oh, darn. Keeps coming unthreaded and I don't have my glasses on. Oops, can't even see which end of the needle is up. There we go. I'm doing a little back stitch on here. You can't see because it's green on green, but you basically go back to the stitch before just to get more, you know, it's a more continuous stitch and will stop the stuffing from coming out. A lot of these pumpkins that are being sold in the stores seem to have a real stalk, pumpkin stalk. So maybe if you had your pumpkins outside and the squirrels ate them, like they did mine, you just find like a stalk on the ground. You could take that and stick it in. You probably would need a bit of glue, but that could be quite a cool look as well. So I'm getting to the top. I'm going to go around the corner. Hope you can see this. So yeah, so the pumpkin stalk, or what else could you use? Maybe you have any of those fake like foliage, maybe you could use some of that. You can get creative. It's your pumpkin, no rules, no restrictions. Just have fun. Do it with the kids, do it with a friend. Okay, so I've done that. I'm going to cut that bit off. See, so I sewed up there and across. Just going to poke the corners out gently because I only hand stitched it. Okay, so now a little bit of stuffing, not too much. Push it up inside. See, that was only a tiny bit. And that's the stalk. So you can see it just kind of fits in there. But we do need to secure it. So I am going to, I'm still not happy with that. I think it'll be fine. If you want to learn any of these or any of this hand stitching, we do offer private lessons, or you know, we have tutorials as well. If it's something you want to learn and you don't see, let me know. So I'm just going around and taking a part of the pumpkin and kind of a little double piece of the stalk. And again, remember what I said about we're going to put the ribbon on. So if it's a little bit messy, it's okay. So make sure you go all the way through. I'm not a big gluer because I feel like it's sewing cheating, but go ahead and get the hot glue gun out if you need to. I guess I just always go for the needle and thread. But yeah, you could put some hot glue on the inside of here and just be done with it. That would be absolutely fine. I won't tell anybody. Okay, a few more stitches. Then 3 finishing stitches, and you can cut that. You see, you can still reshape it if you want to. It's one of these that just is not sitting right for me, but yeah, push it in a little bit there. So okay, so that's that bit. Now, if we want to put a face on, let's find where we should do it. I think just here. So if you don't have pins, you can just put them where you want them. Okay. I'm going to use this piece. So I am just going to start at the back of the cheek because I want to hide the knot there on the back. And I'm using a contrasting color, but you could just use you know, something that blends in, like a light pink or a white. You could use buttons for the cheeks, you could just embroider them on, or you could color them on. Fabric markers, you could really use, you know, it depends how long you want them to last. You could use just regular markers. If you're doing this with the kids as a project, just have fun. Do more next year. Okay, so that's the pin done. Push that knot under there still. And then our lovely lock stitch. Lock. Do a second one. Lock. Okay, that's that one. Second one. You could make these, or if the kids were doing it, you could do them with different like emoji faces. A little tongue sticking out, that would be cute. Winking. See how quick this is? Again, you can glue it on. I don't mind. Okay, so with my needle already in, I'm just going to go over to where the mouth is going to be, which I think is here. And if you want, you could draw it on first. I'm just going to do a little mouth, and you could use different colors. I'm quite happy with this kind of, it's like a really nice sort of dark greeny color. This doesn't always work well for me first time, and without drawing a thing. Okay, there's the let's nip over to the eyes. Is it okay? I think so. And now little eyes again. You could actually get those googly eyes, and you could definitely draw these on first. I don't know how mine are going to come out here. There's one. Let's do the other one. Let's get it in about the right place. It's right on a crease. Let's see how we do this. Again, one of the things that I love is that it's supposed to be homemade. It's supposed to look homemade. Do I think that eye is okay? I think so. So I think it's just fine. I'm just going to go through there just to give it an extra bit of thread behind. He's quite smiley and happy. And then last thing we need to do is a ribbon. I only have this ice cream one, but it will be just fine. You could use a piece of twine. What else could you use? Like if you have some gift wrapping ribbon. You don't even have to have ribbon, or a piece of fabric. See, I told you that would cover stuff up. Just trim that a little. And we have a new member of the Pumpkin Pals gang, and I think these are really cute, and I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial. Check out my website for more information about classes, and there'll be more free tutorials coming up as soon as I can do them. So have a great day, great weekend, great week. See you soon.